So not that they're sick, but they were in class with somebody last Wednesday that has tested positive.
I've been in like 4 classes like that.
So there's nobody on yet. There's me presenting, and then there's me. The two people are me and me. So they don't have to log on necessarily with us live, but they will have to watch the recording so they can keep up. So that's why those stacks of textbooks are there, so I can point it at that board and then point it at that board.
Hi, little poops.
All right, here we go. Let's take a look. Where are we at? So Monday was Monday. Okay. Is Monday the day where we did like infinity and negative infinity? Is that the only thing we added the arrows? Okay, cool. All right, so this was Tuesday. Attendance. Did you do that practice and get it in?
Yes.
Make sure you do that. Right? Domain and range 1 is the thing I should have handed out to you. Had Max
out.
so.
Right? Monday?
Yeah. And you might have just finished it in class. Yeah, you might have just finished it in class. So that was due about 2.5 minutes ago. So hopefully you got that done. All right. Always complete and submit via Canvas. If you have it, then do it now.
Yeah, I thought
Just do it now.
Yeah, I thought I had like tons of physical paper.
I can't collect physical paper. So you're always, if it's sitting there as an assignment, like you click on this and it takes you to an assignment, you're gonna submit it. If it says, and we say up here, like up in this corner, it should say submit assignment. This is my side of things. Submitting a file. So just do that. If you haven't done that, do it now. Domain and range. Just so, it was like two graphs in the front, 2 graphs in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Min, max, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, domain, range. That was what it was.
So wait, were you exposed to COVID?
No. I wouldn't be.
How? Okay, so
Because it wasn't somebody in my class that had it, it was somebody in Mr. Hofer's class. So Mr. Hofer is home. Miss Eaton, no.
Mr. Thorson.
Isle, Thorson. There's 6 teachers out. There's 60 students quarantined. And 6
So
teachers.
why am I here?
Because you haven't been
That's crap.
exposed.
Yes, I
Doesn't
have.
How are we
matter.
supposed to know if we haven't
Wait,
been
so you're
exposed
saying
if we
that
don't
like
know if we
COVID's
had it?
been in
I
this
know.
Yes.
So why did, yeah, so
I
why
don't
the hell
know
are we here?
we were
It's your choice.
quarantined.
Use the H word.
Thank you, Joanne.
Oh,
Looking out.
yeah, that's true.
Oh,
I don't know who it was.
See.
It's very aggressive.
No, you're so.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that so weird? Bro, I lost that page.
she like transferred this.
Okay, so if it does happen where you have to go home, either just you or everybody,
I can't.
because there's a threshold. If a certain number of teachers are out or a certain number of students are out,
We shut down.
we go remote.
Oh, we need to get that to happen. Come on.
What?
How many people?
I don't know.
Yo, I
But-
wanted to be
Hope, I feel
online.
like my
You don't
kids
want
will
that.
better.
That's back.
You want to go online?
Yeah, I wanted to be online and jump. And Marcy wouldn't let me because Dane wanted
This
to
is his first year.
You'll be able to interact.
Not at home. I would
Yeah.
doesn't want to be home.
stay home.
Me teaching from my kitchen is not going to work all that well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, you're the only class that I would like not want to be online for.
All right.
That's it.
Here's what it would look like.
I did something.
If you had to be home, okay? Here at 7, it's going to have it'll be clickable for Google Meet. It'll tell you exactly what time you need to be there. And the recordings are right here. You can click on it right there, or you can just go pages,
Wait, so how
view
many
all
people
pages.
need
Hold
to
on,
be-
hold on. Google Meet recording links.
Oh,
There was yesterday's class that I taught to 7th because somebody was out for that. But this is just going to be a list of every single class. And so for at least today, Monday and Wednesday, we're going to be recording. Okay? Because everybody's allowed back in next Thursday. There's only one positive test. And she's doing her thing. Whoever she is. Was it Porter?
Yeah.
There's a little shorter. Yeah.
She hung out with like a legend girl or something like that.
Okay. And
That
yeah.
was not, she
Did
was
you see what happened at Cherry Creek High School?
No.
So 2 weekends ago, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, high school, there was parties, like a bunch of them.
Oh, I went to
A
one.
ton of people got sick.
Aurora?
Cherry Creek High School,
You're not good
which is in
Rose.
Aurora. So be careful.
What?
Like, I know you want your Friday and Saturday nights back. So do I. Right, but I'm not putting myself at risk, and you better not put me at risk. Okay, I've got a son at home that if he gets this, he's probably dead. And that's no joke. Okay? He's got a heart condition. So this is really real for me. I would be fine. I would get sick, I would bounce back. But I can't bring it home. You know what I mean? So do the right thing. Help me out. I appreciate that. let's do this thing. I just want to finish 1.1 today, okay? So I'm taking this with me. We're going for, jump back into where we were. Let's do this. I only have like two ideas. I'm not going to call them little. Where we need to get some stuff done.
Rosie,
Huh?
it's coming.
I got you, Danica. We're gonna figure this thing out. Ty, you can move if you want. If you want to let sit not to do this.
Did I get that? Hey. What the heck? Did you get that?
I moved out the work for yes.
What are we getting out? The notes?
Yes, please. You also get out my identity.
Where is my?
There it is. You look it up.
Hey, I heard that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yes, it's me.
I got it. I fixed it.
I'm so glad that worked out. All right. Well, let's see. Let's not. Let's make sure it works. All right. Am I recording? Can you hear me good? So today, honestly, I think we might only have time for 2 graphs, maybe 3. And the third one will just be an easier one for practice. But I want to add on to all the stuff we've been doing. So I'm going to draw a graph. We're going to do the stuff we know how to do: min, max, intercepts, domain range, all this stuff. And I just we're going to break this function apart into different sections too. So I'm hoping that today is the last day where you have to sketch so many of these graphs all at once. Okay. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Labels. X and Y. Scale. 1 and 1. And 4 graphs. Amber, I kind of want to leave it there.
Me too. Leave what?
Right?
It's fine.
And I want to do the same graph that I did last class so that we have the same. This one will appear, it should be pretty simple. And that's a good place to start. So give yourself a sketch again. No, it doesn't have to be too big. You don't have to break up the ruler. Let's plot a handful of points. Let's go -4, -3. Again, we're still in 1.1. Keep teaching. -2, 0.
Are we doing area? Maybe show the shut up. Oh,
That's a sin too.
wasn't me this time.
No, man, this class.
Dude,
Like, tell me
stop
about
doing
it.
what?
-4.
It's a shame.
5 points. Just those 5.
Is the first one -3, -4?
-4, -3.
Okay.
Left 4, down.
I want to put that to Palisades. What? The marker.
And let's connect. All right, make this your lowest point. Go up. Go through the x-axis. Go through the y. Make that your highest point right there, and then just however you want. All right, draw a little. And let's do what we know. Min, max, x intercepts. Because we got 2. Y intercepts. Domain.
Oh, I missed it.
And just to make sure that last week clicked pretty well for you, then we can kind of go from there. So this is the old stuff. I'm going to add new stuff right here once we get there. Let's do what we know first. I have to keep this light off because otherwise it glares. All right, so -4, -3, -2, 0, 0, 3, 1, 4, and 4, 0. And then we just connect them nice and smooth. Right, infinite number of points here, so we know we're going to use lots of intervals. I'm going to write this. All right, we're still going to use that interval notation. Notation. Right, where if the points exist, we'll use those hard brackets. Right, points exist. In other words, we are including the endpoints because it makes sense to include them. And if we shouldn't, then we'll use the soft brackets, right? If either like the points don't exist, like for stuff like infinity, for example, like plus or minus infinity, or really if we just can't include the endpoints because it doesn't make sense to. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. Can't include the endpoints. So domain and range, we'll definitely use an integral notation, but the first 4 are just points. We just list them out. So minimum, where is the lowest point on this graph?
-4, -3.
In unison. -4, -3. Highest point.
1, 4. Damn, we're so on point today. I know. Did you see me doing this in Miss Gibson's class? Never. Exactly.
How many x-intercepts do we got?
2.
Yeah, that was great English. Do we have 2 of them? So we gotta listen both. We got this one.
-3, -2 and 0.
And should I put those numbers in the x spot or the y spot?
X.
We're finding x-intercepts. I better put those in the x spot. It's -2, 0, and 4, 0.
Yes,
1 to 0.
sir.
You can put and in between, you can put a comma, you can just list them however you want. That's cool. Does this thing run to the y-axis? Absolutely. Where does that happen?
3, -3. 0, -3.
Try again. Confidently incorrect. Try again.
It's 0 and 3.
There it is.
I was correct.
Great subred. Confidently incorrect. All right. Domain. Left to right. Ken, what's up?
-4 and 4.
Perfect, right? Because we're going to go left to right, and we're just going to list the x values. The domain is just saying, where does this graph start? What was it, -4?
-4 and 4.
And then 4, right? Because the first x value over here on the left is this one, and that's 4. It's all connected in between, so I can't list all of them because there's too many to list when we get to 4. Do those points exist?
Yeah.
Absolutely, they're points. I can see them. They're there. I can include them. I want to be able to say, start at -4, go all the way to 4, and include everything else.
Do you?
Okay? And then range is y values.
-3 and 4.
And we start at the bottom. Nice, right? Let's go bottom to top, which is kind of the only weird thing about this. Bottom to top. What did you say, -3?
And -4. Sorry, not negative.
Hard brackets for both points exist.
Yes. Because they're not infinite.
Good. And that's really the only time right now that we've seen that we can't include a number. But that's about to change right here.
Give me your garage code. Oh.
Are we ready? Are we locked in? We can get back to it.
Just piss me off. Making you upset.
Last 2 ideas in 1.1. Okay. What I want to do is I want to break up this graph into different sections. And all I care about for these next things that I'm going to do right here, I'm just talking x values. So really, the range is the only time where we list out y values. But for these next 2 ideas, I just want you to tell me, where does this start and end with x values? And what we're going to do is we're always going to start on the left, and we're going to go right. Okay, watch this. If I put my finger at the beginning, and I follow the function, what is my finger doing?
What's going on?
And let's just find a better word
Diagonal.
that means to go up.
Increasing.
Increasing, right? Increasing. We just kept talking over each other. Also, when I was in high school, a girl stuck a stick in my ear.
Dang.
She
how
jumped
bad
on my
was that?
back and was like poking me with a stick.
Are you deaf now?
It's not great in this ear. Like, so when I lay like to sleep and
Yeah.
I cover this ear up, like even just right now, I can tell a big difference between.
Isn't that annoying?
Them crazy
Can I
girls.
take a guess on what the next thing is?
Well, can we do increasing first? And then we'll talk about what's next. I bet you know. Now, so am I increasing?
Yes.
Absolutely, this whole time, right? But is there a point where this graph stops increasing
Yes.
and starts decreasing? So I just want this section,
Okay.
all right? But here we are, starting at -4. Here I am, I'm standing there, I'm at -4.
Okay.
Not moving yet. Am I increasing?
No.
I haven't moved yet. There's nothing for me to come from here on the left because there was a first point, but I haven't moved yet. So when I say that this graph increases from -4 to what's the x value where it stops increasing?
1.
The x value?
1.
1.
Oh.
But I'm at -4. Have I gone up yet?
No.
So should I include this point?
Yes. No.
There you go. I haven't moved yet. I can't include -4. I have to use soft brackets because I haven't started moving yet. Now, okay, cool. So I started -4. All right, I increase all the way to 1.
Okay, chill.
I know, right?
You
All
got
right,
it.
cool. I'm at 1. Here I am at the top of that hill. Am I still going up?
No. Watch
No, I'm about to go
You're
down,
gonna decrease.
right? But I haven't started to do that either yet, right? I made it to the top. So should I include that endpoint as part of my increasing if I'm not going up anymore?
Guys. No.
Am I going up?
No.
So should I include it? Same word.
No.
There you go. Increasing, I need to actually be going up from left to right to do that. And if I haven't started going up yet, I better not include it. And if I made it to the top, I can't include that either. So it's all of the numbers in between -4 and 1, but don't include this one because I haven't started moving yet. Don't include that one because I made it to the top.
Okay, so basically software.
Exactly. And what you're going to see, well, so what's coming next?
Decreasing.
Obviously, right? Increasing, decreasing. Where does this graph start to go down? What's the x value that begins our decreasing interval?
1.
But if you're standing at 1, you freeze time at that moment when you made it to the top of the hill. Have you started to go down yet?
No.
Software.
So the only difference would be is with the software.
Basically. And what's nice about it, and we go all the way to 4, right? But I made it to 4, I made it to the end, I'm not decreasing anymore. Always soft brackets with increasing and decreasing. Always. Okay? There's idea number 1. Break this graph into sections. Where's it going up and where's it going down? That one I think isn't too bad because you know it's always going to be soft brackets and you really just have to follow the graph. Your pen, your finger, your pencil, whatever it is going up, increasing. It's going down, decreasing.
Right, it's increased, they're both X values.
Yeah, always x values, and we're always just going to look from left to right. Makes sense. All right, so read the graph from left to right. If you're going up, you're increasing. If you're going down, you're decreasing. All right, cool. The other way that we're going to figure out how to break this graph into different sections is whether you're above the x-axis or below. And I'm going to call that positive versus negative. Okay? Where is your graph positive, which really just means above the x-axis? And where is it negative? Which just means below. Below the x-axis. And all I have to do is name the intervals that I have. Where does it start? Where is it? Where does it start? Where is it? And start at the beginning. And let's just do positive first. Start here. Are you positive yet?
No.
Are you above the x-axis?
No.
No. Not positive, not positive, not positive, not positive. What about when I actually get to -2? Am I positive right there?
No, because you're not above.
No, I'm 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. But the moment I take that very first step after -2, am I positive now? So like definitely at -1, right? What about like -1.5?
Yes.
What about -1.8?
Yep.
1.9? 1.999? And no matter how many 9s I rattle off right now, I'm not close enough to -2. And so in the case where you run into an x-intercept and you want to say, don't count this point right here, but everything after it, I'm still going to write that -2, but I'm just going to use soft brackets instead. Because I know at -2, I'm at 0. And that first step that I take walking up that hill, I'm going to be above sea level, above the ground, above whatever you want to call it, above the x-axis. that very first step, I want to make sure that I'm including every number just bigger than negative 2. All right, cool. Let's see if we ever come back down. Positive, positive, positive. I don't care if it's increasing, decreasing. I'm talking positive. Positive, 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 positive. What's that moment? What's that x value where we come back down?
4.
But at 4, am I actually positive? No, I'm 0, so don't. Sometimes. Because check this out. Start at the beginning, and now let's talk negative. I begin right here. I'm standing at negative 4. Am I below the x-axis?
Yes.
Absolutely. So when I say negative 4 is a great place to start, include it. Okay, so it could be a mixture. Could be soft brackets only, could be one hard soft bracket, one soft bracket, could be both hard brackets. We don't know, depends on the graph. So increasing and decreasing, I always start with that one because that's always soft brackets. I need some motion, right? To talk about increasing, I need time to pass. Like here we are living life in the second dimension on this board, but life happens in the third dimension, but you cannot experience it without the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is time. Okay? You cannot watch the path of this three-dimensional marker move through three-dimensional space without that clock. Tick, tick, tick. Right? So 3 dimensions is great, but it's useless without the fourth. You cannot tell depth perception without it. Right? I talked about Colton, right? The front of his head versus the back of his head. I can't tell the difference in that depth without light taking longer. It's crazy. All right, cool. Negative, 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 negative. Get to negative 2. Am I still negative? At negative 2, is the y value negative? No, it's 0. But like negative 2.5, negative 2.1, negative 2.111, negative 2, oh, it's so close. As close as I can possibly get to negative 2, but I just can't. Because the moment I take that last step from negative 2.0000, whatever, to actually get to negative 2, now I'm no longer negative. Okay? Increasing going up, decreasing going down. Positive above the x-axis, negative below. Were there any other like negative sections of this graph, or is that? Oh, okay. Questions? All right, there's graph number 1. That was the intro. Graph number 2. This one's going to be more complicated. This is probably where we take things to an Algebra 2 level. I could probably walk into an Algebra 1 class, and in the same amount of time that we've taken for me to teach you this, I could probably teach you them too. But I think this is going to be the one where things take a turn, where you really have to be at your level. Here we go. Last big graph that you're going to have to draw. And we'll probably have time to do a quick practice one. We'll see. All right, so here we go. 5 and 5. 1, 2, 5. Labels, X and Y. Scale, 1 and 1. Label scales, or dragging. And this one's going to have a few more points on it. We have a few more sections going on. All right, so let's go -5 to 2. Let's go -4, 0. That's the x-axis right there. -3, -2. So 1 box right, 2 boxes down.
Is that birth point supposed to be?
-5, 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go -1, 0. Let's come back with the x-axis right there. 0, 2 with the y-axis right there. Let's go back down. 1, 0. 2, -2. Let's come down a little bit further. Let's make that our lowest point. Let's come back up. Let's hit the x-axis one more time. And let's connect those. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. I'm gonna go down. So make that your first one. Take a turn right there. Come back up. Go up the y-axis, x-axis. Come back down. That one. Make that your lowest point. Come back up. So it kind of goes down, up, down, up. But then to tie some stuff back into what we learned last time, let's kick this up and out. Now, I taught this lesson to cohort B yesterday. Because you guys lost Monday for Labor Day, the order is now flipped. And we're going to have to play some catch up. So Friday, this Friday, you're going to be logging on. All right, let's do everything we know how to do. Min, max. X-intercepts. Now, there's a bunch of them. I'm going to list them vertically because I want to save my space for my increasing, decreasing. So I'm going to slide my y-intercepts spot down a ways because I know I got 1, 2, 3, I got 4. Domain, capital D, range, capital. Yeah. And so let's just name them both. That's okay. We can have more than one minimum. It just so happens that they're sitting at the exact same spot, and I don't want to neglect one more than the other. There's no one minimum that's better than the other one, so let's name them both. Do you know what the plural of minimum is? It's not a bad guess, right? Because like the plural of octopus is octopi. 1 octopus, 2 octopi. But that ends in US. And so the plural of that's an I. This ends in UM. 1 minimum, 2 minima. M-I-N, U-M. 1 maximum, 2 maxima.
You know, I'll just keep it to be.
Latin, man, I can't. Here we go. All right, so we've got 2 minima. Let's just name them both. Which one should we name first?
Left to right.
Good. -3, -2, comma, 2 negatives. Where's the maximum? Where's the highest point on this graph?
Infinity.
And so is there a maximum? So let's save that.
No.
Because if we said infinity right there, that might be misleading. Like there are an infinite number of maximum points. That doesn't make any sense. All right, we've got 4 x-intercepts. I'm going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because they're x-intercepts, I know all the y values. They're just 0. I'm on the x-axis somewhere. I just have to name the x. I know y is going to be 0, so let's name it. Left to right, as usual.
-4, -1, 1, 3.
Almost made it up. Cool. Y-intercept, well, I know the x value is got to be 0.
1, 2.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, and there's all our important points. All right, now we start to get into some intervals. Domain is just all the x values. And you can see that with increasing, decreasing, it's part of the domain. Like, look where it starts and ends. -4 to 1, and then from 1 to 4. Well, there's the whole domain. All right, look where positive and negative goes. From -4 to -2, but then from -2 to 4. Where does it start? Where does it end? The whole domain, right? We don't leave anything out, except maybe those x-intercepts. Right, domain. Where does this graph start? X value on the left.
-5.
-5. Is that point actually there?
Yes.
All right. Where does this graph end? On the right. Goes off forever to the right. Positive infinity because positive x's to the left. Right, sorry. Positive right, negative left. Range, what's your lowest y value? And it happens twice. That's okay. I don't have to name it twice. I just need to name what the lowest point is. It's -2. The fact that it happens twice is, we already talked about that in the minimum. This is just range, lowest to highest. Up we go forever, right? Here comes the algebra 2 lows. All right, when we start breaking down this function, this graph, into different pieces, I'm going to stop increasing first, I and C. And I always just start at the beginning so I don't miss anything. I start here and I start moving. Am I going up? No. So I don't want to include that in my increasing interval. When do I take a turn and start moving up?
Oh, -3.
The x value where it starts. Good. But at that spot, so you're standing there at the bottom of that hill. Have you started to move up yet? Never. Soft brackets. Always, always, always soft brackets with increasing and decreasing. All right, cool. So now I take a turn. I'm headed back up, 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 up. I go. What's the x value where you take a turn and head back down?
2.
The x value?
0.
0. Soft bracket, it's increasing, decreasing, always soft brackets. And so that takes care of this section right here. I take a turn and I start to head back down again. But is there a point where I turn and head back up again?
Yeah.
And so there's this whole other section of this graph that we can't neglect. And so I'm going to need to write a whole other interval over here. So leave a little space here. But let's start another one. Where does this graph take a turn and start heading back up? What's the x value? Yeah, 2, right? At the bottom of that hill where we start to take a turn and head back up. Do we ever come back down?
You said leave space in between?
Leave space between. We got to put something right there. Yeah. Because we're going to put this up. We're going to put this. We go up forever. If this graph was going to ever take a turn and come back down, I couldn't draw that arrow. So as soon as they draw the arrow pointing up and out, we know that that's just going to happen. But I've got these 2 separate intervals, but I want to count them both. Like I want to say -3 to 0 is good, and so is 2 to infinity. One's not better than the other. I don't care if the second one's bigger. I want them both. What I want to do is I want to put them together. I want a symbol for what's called
Plus.
a union. Plus isn't a bad call. Plus is only good for individual numbers.
Equal.
And so if it was like just -3 and just 2, definitely I'd put them together. Equals is when we're comparing 2 things and saying they're the same. Okay? These are both markers, right? But the fact is, one of them goes from -3 to 0, and the other one goes from 2 to infinity. I don't care that they're markers, they have different colors. So I don't want to say equals, because they're not necessarily the same. They're both x intervals, they're both markers, but they're different. They're different sizes, and they start in different places. Okay? I want to do this. I want to put them together.
Why didn't you just tell me?
Some random
not
symbol
fun.
we don't know yet.
It's a symbol you've never seen.
Okay, so then I'm gonna need to be told.
Well, let's get there together. The word union is up there on purpose.
You're already there.
We need to come up with a symbol, as simple as you could possibly be. Let's pick like a super simple letter, a symbol, something that is going to mean union. And union just means
You.
love. Thank you. You. That's it. It means union. We're going to read it out loud as the interval -3 to 0, union 2 to infinity. So if you've got more than one space on this graph where things are going up, going down, or positive or negative, whatever it is, we're going to find the union of those sets. Cool. That's the new thing. All right, decreasing. DEC. Good enough. Start at the beginning. Start always start at the beginning.
-5.
Until, well, I'm decreasing, so I can keep going.
Yeah.
Right? Don't let the fact that we cross through the x-axis make any difference when we're talking increasing, decreasing. So we start at -5 and we go all the way. Right? That's where this graph takes a turn and comes back. From -5 to -3. Can I include either of those endpoints?
No.
Never. Right? Always soft brackets. When we can't include the endpoints, because when I start at -5, I haven't moved yet. When I make it to the bottom of this hill, I'm not going down anymore. Soft brackets. Is there a whole other section of this graph that's going down from left to right? Okay, where does it start? Where does it end?
0, 0,
0 to 2.
and then you.
Soft brackets, the union of those two sets. And if I had a graph that did this, Right? Increasing, 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 increasing. There's 5 sections of this graph where it's going up, okay? This interval, union, this interval, union, this interval, union. Just put a bunch of numbers. I probably won't do too much like that. But maybe there could be 2 or 3, right? So we need that union. Good. Increasing, decreasing, depth. Positive versus negative. Okay. And that's why this is in green. Let me write this in green again. So increasing, let's go up from left to right. Decreasing, let's go down from left to right. Positive is where is it above the x-axis, negative where is it? All right, so the red is kind of the mathematical terms, but the green is what I really care about you understanding. All right, so start at the beginning. What's that very first x value? -5 is where we start. Is the point above or below the x-axis? So is it positive or negative? And can I stand at that point and be above the x-axis without moving? Sure. Standing above sea level right now, I don't have to move to do that. So when I say that this graph starts, let's do it again. This graph starts being positive at -5, it starts there. Count it. You can absolutely, with positive or negative, potentially include the endpoint because it's just where you're standing. It's not how you're moving. Increasing, decreasing takes movement. It takes time. Positive versus negative is just where are you? Are you above sea level or below? Are you above ground, below ground? Whatever you want to do. Okay. Where does this graph hit the x-axis? And as soon as you get to -4, are you above anymore? So. Okay. Is there a whole nother section where we are above the x-axis? Yeah, all this. So we need to name this interval right there. From -1 to 1. So from -1 to 1. But those are x-intercepts, right? I can't include x-intercepts in being positive because they're 0. Absolutely. Right? We've got both of these sets. I want to count both. You in between. Okay, so we got this one. Right, this section was positive. This whole section here was all positive. Is there another part of this graph where you're above the x-axis? Yeah. All of this is all positive. Starts at 3, goes forever. 3 is a x-intercept. I can't include it. Infinity is infinity. I can never include that. So what do I need in between those? Another u. For you. But negative. Start at the beginning, no, positive, 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 positive. There's my x-intercept. This is the interval that I'm looking for. All of this down here is all negative. From -4 to -1. But that's an x-intercept, and so is that one, so I can't keep it. And I've got this whole interval here too, from 1 to 3. 1 to 3, x-intercepts, x-intercepts. What do I put between them? The union of sets. And say union, don't say you, say union. So from -4 to -1, union, -1. There you go, 1.1. And that's why we took a little time to get to that. Because if I tried to do this all in one day, I would have lost a lot. Now, this is not the most exciting thing in the whole world. Graphs that don't mean anything to me, like this doesn't come from anywhere. It's just, this has no meaning to me. So I know, I get it. But these are the conversations that I have with my calculus class. You are looking at descriptions, like calculus level descriptions. No, you took it over a whole year.
Oh! I could barely get past Algebra 1.
That was freshman, assholes.
Okay, yeah.
Right? All right, so there's 1.1. Now we're out here 2, so I want to give you one to try. I'm going to make it simple. But this will help you make sure that when you get to your homework tomorrow. Do you think I have Snapchat?
Do you have Snapchat?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm older than 15.
So weird.
I'm older than 15.
Oh no, did you see that little dig? Do you like that?
Hey, should I just, I'm not going to strength.
Here we go. One for you to try. Try this one.
There we go. Okay. Send me a garage photo.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, yeah, I just watch our house. They should have Emily, so.
Labels.
Yeah.
Scales.
Yeah. I
Where
never
did I go?
shot you. You go stop here, another garage code, and I was like, put the gun away.
Oh, we have another one.
This is just for you to practice. It's a
Okay,
simple
we
one.
have like 5 minutes.
We have 8 minutes.
Oh
To do
my God,
one problem.
cramps, bro. I love that for you.
Is it 1 and 1?
1 and 1, yeah.
That's why we're doing workout this together.
Do it all. Min,
No, like, for
max. X intercepts, there's only one. Y intercepts. Domain, range. Increasing, decreasing, positive.
Oh, the points. I was getting the points wrong. So the
Okay,
first
-3, -2. -2, 0. 0, 4. 1, 1. You want to see 2?
2, 0. Okay, when you take it away, that's cool.
Are there people on there? Did they not join it?
No, they don't have to necessarily join live. But they are going to have to keep up. So they have to watch the recording instead.
4.
There's nobody on there right now?
What's the last one?
3, 2.
3, 2. Oh, you only went to
3,
4.
2.
You only went to 4?
4 boxes.
3,
3, 2.
2.
I'll give you a couple minutes to try this out, and I'll start putting some answers down. But this is your chance to see what you know, see if you can do it. Because when you get to the work that I'm going to get to you tomorrow to try out, if you have that and this done right, written down somewhere, you're going to give yourself a really good shot. And so if you need to take a picture of that board, take a picture of that board, take a picture of this one when I'm done. Do that kind of stuff. All right? How you take notes is up to you. And some people do better going back after the fact and looking at it and saying, oh, yeah, that's how we did that. Or, oh, I get it. Oh, I forgot about the U. There it is. Whatever. All right. Min-max, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, the min range, positive, negative, increasing.
So that means I'll top points for 4.
But again, I'm going to need you to show up on Friday live, please.
I have work, Rosie.
Or is it like other classes?
Just up to you.
Oh.
And I'll try to hold it during class, but I've got a meeting at noon. It should only take like 20 minutes. So it shouldn't affect us. I don't think it's going to affect anybody, realistically. Because I know the schedule gets pushed back a little bit. So, like, I won't be around from like 12 to 12:30, but we'll have class at our Friday class time. Whatever that is, like 2.
The domain is the points left to right.
That's right.
Range is up, down, up.
Good.
I don't even know where to go. I don't even know how to start it.
So ask me questions. Don't give up, put it away.
I have the teacher up.
I'm not putting it away.
Anyway. I got it.
Good.
Oh, like this, ready?
So
So
minimum
this
is just
one
what's the lowest point on this
like
graph.
this, right? -2.
So it's -3. I don't think you grabbed that point. -3, -2. I think you like stacked it right on top of this one.
Wait.
-1, 2, 3, -2. So that first point, slide it over to the left a little bit. So erase. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Please don't check these.
Okay, wait.
I'm gonna
So
put answers on
3,
this one.
-2, right? It's like that. So it'd be -3, -2.
Right, so there's your minimum. It's a point. So these are just points.
Okay.
Why is it -2?
So then
Oh,
max.
no.
Would the maximum be on up here, right?
Maximum is the highest
Right.
point on the graph,
Oh, I'm tripping.
which is that one.
5,
What's the x value?
4.
What's the x value?
No, that's my God.
Have you moved left or
0.
right? 0. Good. Comma.
0, 4. Okay. Oh God. How do you do that?
So x-intercepts are the points, or point, where it hits the x-axis. X-intercepts, x-axis.
This.
And so, but there's no point over there. Where is the point on the green graph where I hit the x-axis?
2.
That one, right?
Yes.
Is that to the left or to the right?
To the left.
So is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative 2 comma 0, because I haven't gone up or down, I'm just sitting on the x-axis.
Okay.
Y-intercept.
Would be the y.
Okay.
So 4.
Good. Now, is that the y value or is that the x value? Again, have you moved left or right from here to here?
No.
No. So an x tells me should I go left or right, but if I don't want to go left or right at all,
0.
0. Y value is the one that might be different. Yep.
Okay, and then domain.
Domain goes left to right.
Okay.
So what I want to do is I just want to do that. I'm going to start at the beginning.
So negative 2.
What's that x value?
2.
Thank you, Emma.
Sorry.
You're good. But you fixed it, and I appreciate it. I get it. How I talk in class is very different than how I talk outside. So negative 3, right?
Yeah.
Negative 3. And what's the last x value on the right? Let's go all the way over. There's that last point.
3.
Okay. Do those points exist? Is that a point right there?
Yeah.
Is that a point right there?
Yeah.
Hard right.
So it's hard. That sounds so long.
All right. Put your head out of the gutter for a second.
Range.
Bottom.
Get your head out of the gutter, John B.
From the bottom.
It's not like I've never seen a guy in underwear before, John B. I have a brother. Just have a brother.
So I just care about the y value.
Wait, what do we do? Oh, range. Okay. So Y.
From the bottom to the top.
Okay.
From the bottom, go up. So what's the
From the
lowest
bottom.
y value?
The lowest Y value.
There's that first point that you run into when you kind of scan the
Isn't
graph.
that X?
So right there is a point, right? Right in
Yeah.
that spot. What's the y value of that point?
Negative 2.
So there's the bottom of this graph, and I go to the top. What's
4.
the highest? Points exist, hard routes. And that's why I say both words instead of just the
Oh,
first
we
one.
only like a minute and a half.
Okay, then let's finish it up.
Okay.
Put it up there. So you try, because that wasn't each other.
E. Deck.
What?
Like,
That's a 3 or, is that a 3 or a 2?
3 and 3.
What?
Check your answers, yeah, you did it.
Mine is correct.
But make sure you have this down. It's just another good example for you to
I
look back
got
at so that when you do
I have
your
it. We'll
work
do it after
tomorrow. Actually, good to go.
So you said you're not going to last period, so I can just go straight to your house.
Yeah, just text me when you're about to get out, and I'll tell you if I'm home.
Did you put that said on there all in class? She had it, not
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, he knew it was there. He wanted to
I
see
knew
it.
she did it.
That was the pen we wanted to see how long it would stay.
Remember we talked about
You're like, how long will we stay? And we were like, oh, the pen.
really how long?
It was
Oh.
that I get it now.
Because it wasn't heavy, so it wasn't like weighing. All right, so check Canvas tomorrow, so you know what you need to get done, and then I will let you know I will let you know the time on Friday to jump on. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. Okay. It'll be recorded anyway, so you just watch this weekend. That's fine. I just want to do, because I'm going to do a lesson. I'm going to do something tomorrow with cohort B. I just want to do the same thing with you guys on Friday, virtually. So you're not another class. So, but just watch it this weekend. I'll post it. Bye, ladies. See ya.
And on Monday, I'll also still be in Arizona.
Okay.
Because I'm going for baseball, so there's
Nice.
a chance that I'm playing on Monday.
Oh, cool. So that's the championship. Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll be able to